Democracy podcast. This is a live recording of a meeting of Chapel-en-le-Frith Parish Council held on Thursday, the 5th of September 2024.
Okay, welcome everyone, and at the bottom, thank you members of the public also. I'm aware certain people who wish to be popped today, so you're very welcome tonight. All that will be explained in a little while, what's going to happen there. So if we start off with item 1, please, to receive any apologies for absence. That is Mike and Elsa, thank you. To make any declarations of interest. Okay, item 3, to consider any applications for dispensations. Okay, so item 4 is to determine which items, if any, from the agenda should be taken with the public excluded. If the Parish Council decides to exclude the public, it will be necessary to pass a resolution in the following terms. To consider a resolution under the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, Section 1, to exclude members of the press and public in order to discuss item. I have a wish to have item 17 regarding court case matters to be included in that way. So, do I read out that now? Consider the resolution to item 17, or is it satisfied that I've explained it? Yeah, okay. So could we have an agreement that item 17 regarding court is excluded for that purpose, please? Yeah, that was Jim and Andrew, thank you. Okay, to agree any variations of order of business, I have none. Does anyone else have any requests there? No?
Just to move item 17.
Yeah, except to move item 17 as we just said. Okay, item 6, to consider what co-option of the known candidates for current council vacancies. The situation is that on the 26th of August, the period where we've advertised for councillors to come forward, we've heard nothing from the electoral office, so and they should have by now well informed if we had any candidates whatsoever. For that reason, tonight we are in a position where we can co-opt candidates onto the council. As I say, we do have three persons at the end there, which Jill, you can see them. There's Janet Bancroft, Ian DePay, and Thomas Goldborn. We also have Tony.
Can't remember his surname.
Yeah.
I left my phone at home.
Yeah, we have a fourth who's unfortunately just happened to be away this week as it's coincided, but also wishes to be co-opted. The process in relation to that, Jill, we don't have anyone who's been put forward from the electoral side, so do we ask for the individuals to just speak to us, or is it something that we can...
Have they put an application in?
No, I was just going to say, we do have a requirement for you to put an application in with all your details for the clerk and for Emma. And we haven't got those forms. I haven't got those forms, but we'll get those forms to you so that we can then receive them officially from you, and the process begins. Is that right?
Yeah, because there's a declaration included in the application.
Oh, right. There's a declaration as well.
So that's be co-opted at the next meeting, is that right?
Yeah. So by the next meeting, then you will fill in the forms, and you will be co-opted at the next meeting. Okay. So that's how it works. We do have to go through the official lines. As I say, we're accepting there's no other applicants. Can I assume that all three of you wish to go through that process and we get those forms to you?
Yeah.
Ian, yes. Janice as well?
Yeah, I knew about the forms weeks ago, but we weren't, I didn't think we had to fill them in now.
Right, okay.
I'm assuming by that then, Chairman, because you had to put the notification out that if 10 people in the parish was to call an election, why the elections haven't got back to us is nobody's called an election, so we go back into our co-option, and that'll explain that a little bit better for Janice on that if 10 people in the
Yes, I'm
electorate
aware.
had called it,
Yeah.
well, we'd have been in a different situation, so as we're not, you can...
Yeah. We
So
couldn't really
sorry
call,
that you haven't
we
had your
couldn't-
paperwork.
No, we couldn't call onto that until we knew that there was no official response. But we've tried to get the response we've received none, so we're assuming that that means there are none, because they've had nearly 2 weeks to let us know now. So that will be the process. Do you wish us to get those forms to you by post?
Yeah, you can do it, that'd be great, yeah.
Tom, Janet, by post
Yes.
or through? Okay, can we obtain your, before you leave today, I haven't got
Oh, just wait
individual
on
details, if we can get those off you, so that we can get those to you at the earliest time. Sorry they've not got to you before, but certain processes are in place which determine what we can and can't do. Things like this don't move in speed, you know, but we have got to comply with the right processes. Okay, to consider any police matters, there is a police liaison working group item at item 13, where I'm going to produce the police report then. Otherwise, all I'll be doing now is doubling up on the two items. Yes.
Would it be wise to actually mention at this point that Karen Green has come back to us and she will be doing stuff from the office?
It is in the report,
Oh, it's in the report.
so I was going to explain everything within the report with all of the figures, etc.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. Yeah. So that's what I intend to do under item 13B. I will provide that update for everyone. Okay, public participation. We now have up to 10 minutes to be made available for matters raised by members of the general public and county and borough councillors. Thank you. We've got Councillor Gourlay and Councillor DePay. You are members of the public, Janet, Ian and Tom tonight. Do you have anything that you wish to say and address to us at this stage?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you give you Nigel, if you'd like to.
I'll be quick, 'cause I know that Sally's got a list.
As usual.
Look at yours.
So the three things that I want to bring up are roughly the same things that I talked about last month. I think that there is a kind of deficit in this parish council on the governance side. It could be helped if every month you had a set of management accounts.
That's already been dealt with.
The second thing is that a medium-term financial plan that at the moment you have no money to spend, but if I were to ask the people around this table, when will you pay off the loan to High Peak Borough Council, I think some of you would have blank faces. It's the kind of information that every councillor needs in front of you when you're thinking about what to do in the future. The third thing is the reason that your council is in a mess is that you have not had a good attitude towards calculating risk. I know that other councils have strategic risk registers. I think that might be overkill for your council, but you definitely need some way of calculating what is the risk and how to mitigate those risks in future. For example, you have this court case looming. You should pin a woolly figure on how much that could possibly cost you in the worst case, and assign a risk of that happening. And then, with that information,
That's very useful.
budget for it.
It's done.
Thank you. So bingo.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I've got some information for you with regards to local issues and things that I've been dealing with, and then I've got a couple of questions that I would like answers to at some point. If you can't answer me this evening,
Yeah,
you can get back to me.
we don't engage in
Yeah, that's
conversations, as you know, from the start.
Okay. Right, so the house at 9 Market Street, I'm not sure if you're aware of the current situation. I have got a statement from High Peak Borough Council with regards to where that's at the moment. I'm either happy to read that out to you or I can send it to you. I'll read it to you now then. Sorry, I thought I was very prepared. Right, okay, so this is the official line from High Peak Borough Council from Ben Hayward. The Borough Council served a Section 215 notice under the Planning Acts on the owner last year requiring the front elevation to be repaired. The time limit for compliance ended on the 31st of July 24. The Council is currently considering its options and next steps. Failure to comply with the Section 215 notice can result in prosecution or the Council carrying out the works in default. So I can add to that and let you know that the Council is putting together a plan and they are costing that. I have spoken to borough councillors and expressed obviously concerns. It's been going on for 3 years and the cost of the traffic lights, I have been assured that the cost of the traffic lights is going to be passed on to the owner of the house. As soon as I have any more information that I can pass to you, I'll let you have that information. But that's where I am with that one at the moment. Duff Park, I've reported that the missing swings, they were taken down for safety reasons. I have asked when they are going to be replaced and to be put back in situ. I have explained to them that we've just had the summer holidays. Kids have been unable to play in the park. I chased it again yesterday. I've still not had a response, but I am on that. I've also asked if we can have some more bins along Roughton Grange and Park Road. I've noticed an increased amount of rubbish up and down there, and I know that's not the only area. So I've actually asked the council if they can do a review of Chapel, and what they do is a bin survey, so they will look at how full the bins are, how frequently they're emptying, and work out where and if they need any more bins. So I'll update you on that. The King's Pub, so I have spoken to, with the help of Nigel, I know that environmental services have been out and they've looked at the premises. The work that's being carried out, so currently it is a hotel and pub. The owner is wanting to turn it into into 6 rentable accommodation flats or Airbnbs. I have mentioned about the skip and I'm still waiting for somebody to come back to me with that. I know that environmental services have been out this week. They're not doing anything to the exterior of the building, although it is a conservation area. The building's not listed, and as far as they deemed it when they had a look around the building, there wasn't anything inappropriate that was taking place. However, I am still chasing more information because I didn't think it was enough. The shoulder, there was obviously the incident with the event that took place a couple of weeks ago. As far as I'm aware, I think Environmental Health received 22 complaints, the police received 12, I think it was, or licensing received 12. I, as a councillor, received lots of complaints, and I know that other councillors also received complaints. The police and licensing have been in and spoken to the landlady and had stern words and explained, what's happened is not acceptable. There was violent incidences that occurred later on that evening. To apply for something like that to happen again, she would have to apply for a TENS licence. I know that Robinsons have been spoken to as well with regards to what's happened. I believe she's been asked to speak to members of the community and to make apologies, which has not yet happened. So I had an interview yesterday with the police and discussed this at length, and I've also spoken to licensing, so that will be being monitored, and Robinsons are aware of what happened. Sorry, I'm just trying to rush through this. Apparently, there is a house, 12A on Grange Park Road. There's been some issues there, so I've been speaking to Karen Green with regards to this, and the police, the fire, and I asked for environmental health to go out and buildings inspectors to go out. Buildings inspectors told me that they didn't think that the building was unsafe. However, the fire and the brigade and the police feel that it has other issues, so safeguarding issues. They think that people are potentially squatting in the premises. So as of, sorry, I've got another statement here to read to you.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah, I know, sorry. So with regards to the unsafe building, so that they're aware that there's now been some issues. They've paid Norse to undertake further securing of the property, which will include the securing of one of the windows with 100mm concrete blocks. So the fire are going to get involved as well, and we're going to try and look at other ways to get that boarded up properly. Right, so I have 2 questions for you, and I will be quick. The Market Cross, it's still in disrepute, and I'm aware obviously that it is the Duchy of Lancashire, or Lancaster, sorry. I would like to know what the Parish Council are doing about this, because the marketplace is the main focal point of our community, and it's unacceptable that it looks like that, regardless of whose fault it is. The trees, obviously a contentious issue at the moment, and the toilets, so I have given an update. So the toilets are not going to be done until after all the services, Remembrance, Bonfire, Christmas. I, however, would like to ask why, when I spoke to the gentleman who's dealing with that at the council, he told me that they needed to remove 1 tree to enable that work to be carried out. I would like to request that the Parish Council look at that, because I believe that you've asked for all trees to be removed, and I think with the amount of backlash, rightly so, that we're getting from people within the community, I would like you to look at that, and I will be raising it with High Peterborough Council that 1 tree is removed if that has to be removed. So if you can potentially come back to me on that with your answers, and also with regards to flowers in plant pots and in the community. Obviously it's been lacking this year because of funds. I would like to ask if the Parish Council will consider speaking to businesses to sponsor those, to make our community look better with the help of our businesses in the community, and maybe set something up and ask them to put something in, maybe speak to the community groups who are growing flowers at the allotments, and make it a community activity. Thank you.
Thanks, Anne.
Whew.
All good shop.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, item 9 is to approve the minutes of the full council meeting held on the 6th of August 2024.
Many of those, Chairman.
Second then.
Thank you. Okay, we now move on to item 10, which is the planning applications. Okay, the first one is HPK 2024-0268, Chapel-en-le-Frith Railway Station, Marsh Green. Listed building consent for installation of 2 new customer information screens to be located within the platform waiting shelters, along with the replacement of existing public address speakers with new models. Cabling to go through existing in-ground routes around the station platforms. No works to affect the current listed building. There we go. Unless somebody can give me a reason why all that improved technology to benefit.
Well, I would say, Chairman, that we've no objections to that as such, because we know the Friends of the Station want it, and people do say that they don't get the messages until they're up there, and it would be a worthwhile project to enhance it.
Okay. Rest of the committee?
No objection.
No objections, thank you. Okay, number 2, HPK 2024-0353, the first Chapel-en-le-Frith Scout Hut in Thornbrook Road, Chapel, new roof covering overlaid on the existing raising the roof ridge level by 118mm, which is not very much. Any comments on this one at all?
No objection.
Scout Hut needs a new roof, and no objection.
No.
Thank you. And finally is MPHBK 0724-0739, Valley House, Lesser Lane, Coombs, 2-storey side, a rear extension, roof canopy and detached garage. Right, have we got everything on that?
Well, once again, Chairman, it will be the same as we normally ask, is the materials and that, you know, the rest of it,
Yeah.
and what it's like down in Coombs with being a village.
Okay.
Yeah, materials on that.
Sorry, Jason.
It's National Park.
Yeah.
They'll have
They'll have to control of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody wish to see plans as they're put round, or is everybody happy
Yeah,
with the
happy.
controls that will be okay?
No objection.
Oh, no objection, thank you. I'll put paperwork on top of what I was reading there. Okay, to consider any planning appeals notified to the parish council. None at all, thank you. And to comment on any planning decision notices.
I've only got a few. So permission, we've got Langness on Eccles Road, which was the demolition of a side garage and construction of a new two-storey extension.
Is that going ahead, Emma?
Yeah.
Because the work seems to have stopped, because I walked past it regularly.
Yeah, they
I
do.
can see through that.
Yeah, they've only just been given the permission for
Oh.
it, so that might be why they've stopped. Listed building consent for the Smithy on Ashbourne Lane, which was to install a wood burner, but it's listed building, so that's that. Also 41 Beresford Road, a two-storey rear extension, they've got permission. And Hardcastle Mews on Terrace Road, the new windows and doors, because they're in the conservation area, so they've been given permission for the UPVC.
It's a shame.
So,
Yeah, but there you go, it's going to be in the composite, isn't it? This is the new way, isn't it, instead of wood.
Putting plastic window
As
frames in.
close as they can to be on wood. Okay, here we go then. To receive any reports from committees, working groups, except if issue is elsewhere on the agenda, which we've
What we say something about personnel we met last night?
Yes, please.
So we met last night, we've been looking at policies, we've drafted a review of the equality and diversity and, there's another word. We were talking about last night,
Equity.
equity,
Equity.
equality and diversity
Still
policy.
very
We've drafted a new policy for that, the old one was probably
Well out of date.
15 years old, out of date, missed out on a lot of modern legislation. We also drafted a new, what was the other one I did?
compassionate leave.
Compassionate
Compassionate
leave.
Compassionate leave policy, because the other one was a bit thin on the ground and didn't take account of modern legislation. It's based on the Derbyshire Borough County Council one from 2007, so it's very out of date. And we're looking at a number of others. Those two policies will come to this meeting on the agenda for our next full meeting. We've also, yes?
Can I ask just why the policies haven't been updated?
So they're renewed every year,
Right.
and they've been renewed every year. They just haven't been updated. So when I looked at them, I thought we need to look at these, and I looked at them and we were going through them now.
So who would know that Derbyshire County Council, that these policies have been updated by?
It says at the bottom,
Not know, but
every year.
you say that they're out of date, Derbyshire County
Well,
Council,
one of
based
them,
on Derbyshire County Council in 2007, but when have the changes happened and now we
Well,
know?
there's 2018 legislation.
They're not on this one, we're
Okay,
talking
yeah,
about
I
the
just want to
bottom.
know,
Yeah.
why the council haven't known since 2018.
On the bottom of them all, there's each year when they've been reviewed and a review date, but we went back through the review dates and when they were brought into fruition was 2007. So they've never actually been fully reviewed.
And that's before the 2010 Equalities Act.
Right, okay, and then in 2018,
There was an act about parents' rights if a child dies, and that is
Right,
in our
okay.
compassionate leave
right,
policy.
okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So I put all that in.
Yeah, super, yeah. But I'm just wondering, is it on goal was missing it? Should we
No.
have put it in?
Well, they should have been reviewed on the basis of current legislation, and they haven't been, but they have been now.
Right, okay, fine.
Okay.
And we'll look at
Thank you,
that.
Andrew.
We'll look at the others.
And
Thanks,
you'll,
Andrew.
and you'll receive copies of them.
And we also set the dates for the advertising, receiving applications, shortlisting and interviewing for the new parish clerk,
Okay,
which I need to have a conversation with you about if you need to attend those.
yes, I appreciate that. You've got my leave dates, haven't you?
Yes, so it's after the 17th of October.
Oh, right, that's perfect. Okay, thank you. Right,
And that's it for now, then.
thank you, Andrew. No more questions of Andrew, by the way, there, anyone? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, the police liaison working group, I'm going to cover the bit that Councillor Young was just about to talk about. You have in front of you a report done by PCSCO Karen Green. I met with spoke to Karen a couple of days ago to welcome her back. She's come back on her own request. She's been doing some real heavy duty work over at Buxton, Fairfield, and because we are losing Alex Simpson, the police officer who's going to Hope Valley, we've got a new police officer coming called PC Schofield, and he will be pairing up with Karen. And I said to Karen, how long are you going to be with us this time? She said, until I die. So we'll see if that's how it pans out. In relation to PC Schofield, he is an experienced officer, but he has no knowledge of chapel, etc. So there is going to, I've met with Alex Simpson today, wished him well and thanked him for his time. He is going to remain available to PC Schofield to assist in the handover with regard to the parish. So hopefully that will be quite seamless, and we'll start to see an improvement in the attendance here on a regular basis, and to continue the crime reporting. Yes, Jason.
So, have you met as the police liaison working group with Alex?
No, that what we've said, never ever has Alex been available. He's just come back off leave,
Right.
and I got informed he was leaving.
Right.
So I said, I need to speak to you, Alex, because I need to know how this is going to work with the handover. Because what I didn't want was to suddenly find that we've got somebody coming here. His first visit is sitting around this table and knows nothing of the parish or the committee or anything at all. So what I've asked for is for the officer who's joining us, which is, if I'm right, at the end of this month, and he will be attending the next police liaison group. We're going to get one set up with Karen straight away, with a view to being ready for, if possible, this next committee. Yeah. He hasn't been available. Alex has been,
But we've not met though, have we?
never ever with Alex because of his unavailability.
Well, we've not met as a liaison group because I'm on it and I've not had any invites. But I mean,
you wouldn't have had because there hasn't been once. Jason.
are you going to drop that in an email? It just said so that I've got.
I'm going to have it told. I've literally, following 2 teeth extractions, sat with him today and got through the process to see which is which going to be best for us as a committee and for the police liaison group. Yeah, so that's how it's going to work, so that we can have our first meeting of the group. Is that a problem? I think that's quite comprehensive, really, considering he only came back yesterday. No? Stuart?
I was just going to say, I just happened out, came in the office to do something the other day, and Karen was here, and she said that was why I was going to mention it there, because I hadn't realised you got it all in this.
Yeah.
That Karen's coming back. For the new members on the council and everything, Karen was our PCSO previously. She does know a lot of the problems that go on around here. She does live in Whaley, so she's looking forward to coming back. What she did say, Jason, for your benefit, with the question you've just asked, is once the new fella's sorted out and here, she fully intends bringing him to a meeting and introducing him to us as a full council. And she also, as long as her shifts are right, she wants to get back to coming to the council meetings like she used to before.
I've got her email, Stuart, thanks.
Right, well, I said that was going to be my last point. She said she's going to send that out to everybody, so you should receive it. If she's already done it, she's beat me to what I was saying for tonight, because she thought this would be for Tuesday night, but obviously
And she sent her apologies for tonight. But
she
there we go.
Tuesday.
Sorry, Jason?
No, sorry.
I'm sorry, I thought you said
I was just thinking out loud.
all right, that's good. Okay, as you see, we've got the crime statistics report from Karen. There is an introduction from her, which is excellent. You'll see then that there are a few areas that she's highlighted. Also at the back, she's put a key insight, which instead of just reading through there's been a road accident, etc. At the back there, thank you. At the back, there is key insights, and the good news is, regarding violent crime, there's been a noticeable decrease in the violent crime incidents from 2023 to 2024. Theft has remained stable. Burglary, there is a slight decrease in burglary incidents. Karen said there is nothing of concern there. There is no, what can we call it, an underlying thread of what the burglary is about. They've been very sporadic. And also antisocial behaviour, there is a significant reduction in antisocial behaviour incidents, and we've had none, once again, on the Memorial Park or any course relating to the mugger. And so that is good news. Yeah, the figures are relatively low. PC Simpson today was saying that he feels he's leaving a very low crime, safe area to live. We did talk, by the way, in relation to an item going on the onto the parish newsletter of crime prevention advice that would sit at the back. So I'm going to speak to Karen and also to PC Schofield about what that will look like for the future, so that the newsletter is used for that purpose. That's not to frighten people, that's to provide good crime prevention advice and a bit of common sense to help people along the way. Apart from that, unless you've got any questions regarding the separate sheets, that is pretty well the Police Liaison Working Group report. Andrew, you went first.
Do we know what the damage that was done to the church wall? Was that any item there? No. Okay, don't worry.
It's never been highlighted to us.
Is that some spec?
Yeah.
I suspect that's probably down to the flooding that happened down there.
We don't know where the wall is.
It's along the bottom edge, isn't it?
No, it's marked as marketplace. Oh, I don't know.
I think it's towards the
Well, it's not included.
We do often on the crime, on the reports, by the way, get a little bit of there's one there for Bugsworth, and they do tend to slip in. I've got no issues when that happens. We haven't got strict borders. We're not the neighbours. So if we get information like that, it doesn't hurt us, but it's not relevant to our parish as such. Any further questions? Yes, Jason.
So the Chapel-en-le-Frith Safe Neighbourhood Team. So are we now including Bugsworth and Chinley in the stats of Chapel?
No, I've just been saying that sometimes they do put an item on there that is probably just slipped through the net by them, and it doesn't look as if you wonder why they're there. I've just said, look, if one is in there and it's just
There are a couple, but there have been. We've probably had 2 or 3.
I think we had one once before, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'd rather hear what we get, and if we do find a couple that are from not within our parish, I can live with that, as long as we're getting the key important information for ourselves.
I'm aware at the shoulder and whatnot that night there was an assault, but it's not on any of these sheets. So is this like a month behind?
That assault was dropped
It's been dropped, has it?
Yes, it has. Yeah.
by the complainant, so it's
Right,
never
okay.
recorded.
Right, so it's not recorded.
Thanks, Holly. That's what I was asked about that, and I was told it's been dropped.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, C, Regen and Communication Committee, that once again is me. We'll do the first one. The Chapel-en-le-Frith newsletter is here finally. It's going to be in hard copy. Emma is aware of those that need it hand delivering. The rest are going to be done electronically, except for my parish in Coombs and Whitehuff with Councillor Chandler. We're going to do a feet on the street, and we're going to be hand delivering a quantity of these. Number one, to deliver parish newsletters to them by hand, but also start finding out if they wish it electronically, and to make sure people know who we are and what we're about. So that's my purpose. And in relation to communication, we're going to be updating the Coombs and Whitehuff boards about myself and Mike, and giving some information in there, because the information that's in those boards is pretty woefully zero, and I don't think that's right on any of our boards really. But for myself, that's what's going to be happening with the newsletter. If you wish any hard copies, they're going to be done in colour. Please let Emma know. The last time I did it, we ended up with some that never got out there, and I'd rather Emma respond to what your needs are. What I would ask is for you to always remember that when you're at events, I'm going to be attending Morrison's with Councillor DePay on a public consultation bit where the newsletters are going to be available, but plenty of GDPR forms to get people to sign up to the electronic version. I would recommend that whenever you're doing anything, thinking of like the Doveholes car boot, that we start to think about that to build up the numbers, because this is a useful communication. You know, as my wife was saying in here, she was desperate to get it out to the public, and because there's good information in it. The one thing I will say to you all is that we're asked to put it onto A5 as a booklet. It's been a nightmare. Yeah, it's been a nightmare. Our system, the printer, etc. Thanks to Emma for hours and hours, and thanks to Kathy for getting it back and trying to put it together, because we've been reformatting it for a long time. Finally got it to where we are. If we continue with A5, I think we're going to have to consider the amount of time that's spent doing all that, and whether it should go out to printers, which is a cost and we haven't got the money, or it may be that we do have to revert back to the way we did it first time with A4. A4, it was out 2 weeks ago as such, and then we kept moving things around, trying to get it right, doing the best we could on with what we've got. We've got there in the end. It's there. We've only just literally got it printed off today, and Emma was working on it this afternoon. So it is all in there. For the Christmas edition in November, that's exactly what it is. We want to get out plenty of what's happening around the Christmas time. So we'll be encouraging all our industries and whatever, and volunteer sectors as to whether they want anything included. Please start to think about that, because what we don't want is it to be a final knee-jerk. I'd like it to be a real good newsletter for the Christmas period. In relation to the regeneration side, we had great news in that we received a donation from Councillor Dupay to enable us to finally repair the basket that has just got the arm. Cherubs through the cherubs. Sorry, Sally, I got that wrong. Yeah, it's through cherubs.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the £500
For the
for
flowers.
the flowers. That's going to enable us to get that in position. I will update you in a bit regarding Alliance Nor and the court case, etc. But that's something that will be in relation to the court case. Other regeneration work, yes. As you know, the trim trial's been in. We've received loads and loads of positive feedback about that. The park has been used really well over the summer period, no doubt about it, and I'm really pleased with that, because that's what we wanted. The notice boards are fairly imminent.
Oh, yeah,
The notice boards, so we're going to get those in.
Yeah, no, no.
The only thing we have got an issue with, and I welcome your view, I think it was raised by either Andrew or Jason, we have got the notice board final brief done. However, we are going to be considering the issue of the memorial area in the park when we finalise our policy in relation to that. And that isn't on the notice board. The trouble is, if we do that, we have to redo it all again if we put that on, but we're not getting the boards out. However, it's coming up to autumn, winter, and my question to you is, should we be waiting to identify that to be able to put it on the notice, on the map, so that it can go on? Yes, Andrew?
Yeah, can I just ask, we can put the boards up without those central panels in it and wait, we can't.
They're built round it, that's the issue.
Oh,
I
that's
know,
just-
yeah. It's built round it, that's why I know, so.
My feeling, I don't know if I'm alone in it, would be to say that it's a waste of money to put up the boards without the memorial area on it, because that's going to be a big thing in the park. So I think we need to wait.
Okay.
But I don't know what people think.
Yeah.
And then that should spur us to get on with making a decision, which is to do it at the next regen meeting.
Mhm.
So we should be able to make a decision by the end of the year.
Jason?
Yeah, sorry, thanks, Chair. when we got the 106 money
Yeah.
from Ivy Borough Council, Sevens, we discussed what we were going to do there. I thought we were going to put 2 pieces of disabled friendly kit into the park, and I've seen the roundabout, but I thought it was having a swing where
Yeah, it is. It's in the bucket in the
is
corner.
that in the corner, is it?
Yeah, there is 2
So
in it.
how do you get the wheelchair in there, do you?
Oh, I don't know, I wasn't involved in it, but I don't know. There is 2 pieces because I've paid the bill.
Yeah.
I've not been in.
Right.
Is it, I'm assuming it's because it's quite low level swing compared to the high one with the.
I think you have
That's
to
how I
transfer them.
interpreted it.
You have to transfer
I think you would have to transfer them into that mess.
Yeah.
transfer them into the basket. I thought it was getting one where we would attach the wheelchair.
No, I don't think that's
You've
achievable.
definitely not got one of them. No, because that would be like a normal swing, isn't it? You have like the fast
Yeah,
ones,
it is,
you have to
yeah.
be in. We haven't got one of them. I don't know. We've got the other, which is the green one, which is lower. We've got that.
Yeah.
That only went in at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, seems to be a breakdown in communication. I thought we was having one where we could attach the wheelchair, but
I think we signed it all up when we were dealing with it. You know, that was I think when Councillor Chandler was at chair. But
So can we make a decision about what we're going to do about that?
yeah. Well, can we have somebody to?
So I propose that we wait. Let people have.
I'll second that.
Yes. Okay.
Everyone
Common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
yeah, I'll back
The only other bit for me was the consideration of the. I will get back to you, by the way, Councillor Pay, on your question about the trees. That is the big one for me on the marketplace in relation to regeneration, getting the marketplace fit for purpose, in relation to the flags, in relation to the trees, in relation to the fact we're going to have complete renovation of toilets, and it's all in a one. With what we can't afford is for that to be done in isolation, and I'd like to keep a close eye on that. Now it's going to be January, we've got a bit longer to do some consultation, a bit more consultation. But we've received a lot of complaints about the state of the flags, the slippy, the dangerous, the uneven. Roots are lifting up at the top end as well as by the memorial and by the medieval cross. And if we don't do something, the roots will carry on.
There are other measures that can be taken to...
There is, and I'm quite prepared to listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will report back as to what
The
happened.
biodiversity of the community is a massive important thing, and we haven't got a huge amount of natural horticulture in the area. But then maybe that, as I spoke before with regards to the flowers, that could be an area that could be looked at with the businesses and how we can make that more feasible.
I'll have that conversation
Right.
with you in relation to your questions. Yes, Andrew.
And don't worry, I'll have a conversation about it later.
Okay.
It's very, very pertinent questions. I am
Yes.
open to listening, and we'll have that discussion. I think that fills all my issues on regen. Anybody got any questions for me in relation to that? Don't think I've missed anything out. No. Okay. We'll move on to the Finance and Town Hall Committee. Chris.
Well, this is quite a complicated area in some ways, and it's an area which is generating far too much heat and not enough light, in my opinion. We were due to have a meeting with the management of the bowling club. I felt that we weren't prepared for that, and this has been discussed. It generated quite a frank discussion in the amongst members of that group. I don't think I handled it terribly well myself, if I'm honest, but I think there are bigger issues there behind this, and in particular at the moment I'm concerned that there's a lot of email traffic going around, some of it from a member of council who's not here to answer for it, but the tenor of a lot of that is suggesting that the Finance and Town Hall Committee somehow has overall control over what happens to the bowling green, which I think is not the case. Certainly there is no way in which I, as chair of the Finance and Town Hall Committee, would stand for any attempt to assert our authority over decisions on the future of the Bowling Green, which are, in my view, matters for the full council, because the Bowling Green is not simply a financial issue. It is far bigger than that. It was donated to the town as part of the Memorial Park following the First World War. And I have spent quite a bit of time in the town hall trying to find documentation relating to the terms on which we received it. I do not know if we legally would have the authority to sell or dispose of that, if we were minded to do so. Personally, I think that would be a wrong approach to take. It is a public amenity donated in memory of people who served this country in the First World War. We do have a financial responsibility, but that is a matter of how we manage it and not about whether we just decide to ditch it. It is also, I think, well accepted that it is an amenity which brings not only pleasure to some members of the public, not only members of the bowling club, but also those members of the public who can pay to use the bowling club. And it is something which adds to the lustre of the town. So on those grounds, I think it's not helpful that people should try to assert that the Finance Committee has some authority which somehow, as it is presented, almost stands above the authority of this council. And I'm afraid that in all matters like this, the final authority must be the full council. It is not right for a delegated authority to try to assert or to take additional powers above that. And I'm not happy about the discussion being taking place only by email exchanges and not in the actual meetings. And I believe, and I'm not going to put words into the mouth of my fellow members of the Parish Committee, that there are other members of the committee who have equal reservations about the way some of this is being presented. The bowling club is something that we agreed that a group would have a meeting with the members of the bowling club to negotiate our future relationship with them, and it's that open. That was recorded in the minutes of the council meeting of the 5th of May. That selected a group of people. But that was for them to have an open discussion and not to try to reach a full agreement. It would be premature. If nothing else, we don't know what we're dealing with here legally. I've raised this with, and Jill, you and I have had a small exchange, haven't we? Mm-hmm. If we can't find the deeds to that, then we can't decide what our powers are. Jill has offered, and I agree fully, that we should find out if the property has a registered title, because without a sound legal basis for negotiation, there is no point talking about it at all. And what I have found is that in all the other donations to support Memorial Park, there are strict covenants and restrictions, and the council accepted the bowling green on the basis that the council would be bound to maintain the facilities of Memorial Park, including the bowling green. Therefore, it's not as simple as saying, you are the bowling club, we're doing this for you, we want some money off you. We have a broader public duty. In the course of our care and management of the bowling green, we allow it to be used and maintained by the bowling club, but there is also this undertaking from the council to make maintenance. So we cannot just say, we wash our hands of it, you pay for it. So that is also, I think, a very important point. We don't want to lose assets. And I do not believe, in some of the exchanges going around, oh, there is no money. Well, there is no money for a lot of things, but that does not mean that we should start selling the family silver. So I'm not happy about the way this has been taken. I think we need to look into the terms of reference of this, because again, it is being asserted as if the Bowling Green Working Group is somehow subservient to the Finance and Town Hall. I see that their inputs are separate and of, in my mind, equal value. And we must take note of what is best for the parish. And that is for the parish in general.
Okay.
I'll give way to anybody else who wants to.
That's fine. That's very, very clearly put. And I don't think there's many people around who wouldn't support you. One thing I will say to everyone, when we're dealing with the Town Hall and Finance, there has been emails flying around, and I've had to intercede and say, why haven't they been CC'd into the chair, so he's aware? And all I would say to anything to deal with this, you know, there you're looking at the chair, and he should be aware at the first instance of these emails and what's being said. He should not be kept in the dark, and I will not allow him to be kept in the dark. As a result, he is aware when I've put those emails to him. You've got the next point, Jason.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm not sure which mails regarding the Town Hall and Finance that you've not been copied in on, Chris. I haven't seen any, so apologies for that.
I do not know which ones I haven't seen, obviously.
Well, I didn't know that there was. I might have missed the same ones in, but I'd like to thank you.
I'm not aware of anything from you, Jason. That
No. I'd like to thank you for your explanation just then. It's reassuring, given the mail I received from Councillor Chandler to suggest that the Town Hall and Finance were actually leading on this. Can I just suggest, please, that we had a Bowling Green group prior to the last council?
Yeah, absolutely. So that next one on there.
So as the council came to the end of its term, we'd already identified that there were a number of issues around the Bowling Green, and we sat with the bowling club in the town hall. Alistair is chairman. He's taken notes. There's already a starting point for these discussions to take place. And during that meeting, the rent was actually discussed and brought back to full council. So it feels almost as if one person is wanting to go back over old ground. Now, I would also ask the council if they would allow Alistair, Councillor Beswick, to sit in this bowling group, because I feel like he's trying to be sidelined, and I don't feel that's the right thing.
If I could, Stuart, can I just?
You were next to it, but I think Chris is just going to explain.
I've read Councillor Beswick's notes from the previous meeting. I've seen a lot of constructive work in that. Knowing that he had given apologies for this meeting today, I contacted him and asked him if he would consent to be added to the Bowling Green Working Group, with the, obviously as a decision of this committee, of this council, and he says he would be very happy to come in and join that. He was not present at the meeting when the constitution of the Bowling Green Group was made, and that was why he was not included, because we couldn't do that. But I now have his consent to be co-opted into that group, and I think he would strengthen that group.
Can we deal with that as a separate issue now?
I just think it's important as to put him into information at this point. So,
yeah.
Stuart.
Well, all I was going to say is you're vice chair, and I was chair when these were set up and all the rest of it. My understanding, and I thank you for your explanation, which makes it easier for a lot of people, but my understanding was the Finance and Town Hall group were just actually looking at having a proper agreement with the bowling club that they're using it and all the rest of it. The actual bowling club working group, which you're on about, Jason, that hasn't sat and everything, they were looking at all the things that the bowling club, like the wish list, that they would like to do, that the repairing things or altering things or the toilets or anything like that, and then that will be coming back to full council. So I'm fully in agreement with Chris on that one, that somehow, I don't know whether wires have got crossed or people have got mixed up thinking that the two are the same, and they're not. They're both working in to make it work, and everything comes back to the full council. That's how I understand it. And I did, because I was confused by a load of emails, and I put an email out to that So I don't know who got it, who saw it, but
The key here is to get meetings underway, and let's start having those meetings and some constructive stuff, because you do have, I'm a member of the bowling club, so I'm out of it.
One of the problems we have got, Chair, there is that Councillor Chandler's never available. You know, we could have had umpteen meetings by now. But we
As long as we're
because we need him at the meeting, he appears to be the issue at the moment.
So, you can have a meeting without one councillor. If you arrange a meeting, you can't.
we did last night, so
Exactly.
as long as you quorum it.
Yeah.
As long as you call it, have a meeting. If you can't make it, you can't make it, and then you can't complain about it.
That's why you should have more than the
Yeah.
actual number on the committee, so that you can just still quorum it.
So, Joe, I would urge the group to go ahead and meet.
Yes, I've expressed my views on that several times now.
Let's get on
Let's
with
get
it.
the meetings done. You know, lots of valuable work to be done. The bowling club must be sitting here at the moment wondering what the heck is going on, because, you know, I went in for a drink in one of the pubs to be asked the question, why are you selling the bowling green? And I said, whoa, because that is the feeling of the town in some fields, and that is disgraceful.
And also, Chairman, when we decided that, and for setting up the meetings, we also decided that we would set up a group of us to talk about 47, 49 Market Street, but we had to wait for yourself to be put in post on that, because it was unfair for Emma to deal with it, so it was for you, Jill, and I think we've now got a date for that, haven't we, finally? So
okay, well let's wind this one up in that I am encouraging both groups, of which Chris and yourself, Jason, you're part of it, to meet as soon as possible. In relation to Councillor Beswick being co-opted, or whatever you want to say, to the bowling group, do we have somebody to propose that? Yeah, okay, Manny seconded,
yeah.
Stuart. So Councillor Beswick is co-opted onto the working group, and let's see where we go from there.
And I could say that steps are in place to get this meeting as soon as we can get a suitable date.
Okay.
Yep.
We do have bowling club working group sitting down underneath, but I'm assuming we have now
I think
exhausted.
as far as it's concerned.
I tend to agree with you there. And F is the Town Hall and 47, 49 Market Street working group.
We ain't met yet.
No, well, there we go then. And who is that group, and what is being moved towards to meet?
Me, Jim,
Michael, yeah.
and Mike.
Got a meeting booked.
Oh, they've got a
We've
meeting
got
booked.
a meeting booked. We've
Thank
arranged a
you.
meeting.
No, there's a meeting booked.
16th, 18th, something.
Thank
Next
you.
Tuesday. Next
Fine.
Tuesday
Okay,
after.
that's fine.
10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, no, thank you. Okay, let's move on to item 14, which is the finance to authorise schedule of accounts presented for payment. You've all got a copy of those, everyone? Do we have any questions on the content?
You know,
Who are Andrew?
Yeah, that's blended down here.
You okay, I've got a spare one here. Okay, that's fine.
He's got Andrew's.
Okay, any questions on them? Can propose to authorise them? Sorry, Andrew.
Well, we get that way down. I'll say one thing after that. Yeah.
Oh.
I propose them.
you propose
You
it.
second
Oh, no.
Was that a second?
No, the question.
Oh, well, no, let's
Let's
get the question then,
No
Jason.
question, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
So, am I right in thinking that for the month, the expenditure was 12,000, the income was just over 3, so it's about net of about 9,000. Is that an average spend per month?
It looks, what we've started doing, which we never did before, is we put the bulk of everyone's wages on into a big book figure, that never used to go on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we usually spend more when we're paying things like this or ones. We've had big bills in recently
Right.
because of stuff like that, which obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty off with that, to be fair.
So
That's the summer one. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
low one. 'Cause
It's a lot, yeah, if it's summer, and also you see, I won't have as much income because people have not been in the high like brownies and stuff
Right.
like that, so it is a bit slower.
So the financial side of things, we're supposed to have about 3 months running costs in reserve. And we've now got, according to this sheet, nearly 75,000, which is much more than 3 months.
Well, 3 months used to work out at about 60,000 because we always used to say 20 a month. That's why I say that's low.
Right.
So 60 would be our normal that we used to keep in as the 3 months. So 75 is probably what has not been spent.
But we have had a lot of money from High Peak for the 106s that I've not paid out yet. So like notice boards and stuff like that, we've had the money in.
And that'll come out at 74, will it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
When we
And
get
3
billed.
months is very low.
Is low, yeah.
It's a low.
Yeah,
It's on the low
I'm
side.
just
I
trying
would have that as high in 3 months.
Isn't this
The
also
reserves.
sorry,
Just hang on, Jason, you.
Yeah, no, I'm satisfied.
No, that's
Thank you.
fine.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't this also coloured by the fact that we took a drawdown on the loan to make sure that we were secure for more than just 3 months?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
low as well.
That's it.
So to look at it as a 75k, I'm not. I agree with you, Jason, but you know, it's not just a matter of saying we've got more than 3 months in hand. We've got a 6 months provision going forward because we need to have that.
Yeah. And then we wait for the impending
Yes.
court case.
Because as I was going to say on that one, to answer what Chris had said there to a degree, that was where Peter said we needed to draw down that money, which is what Nigel was on about earlier and everything. And obviously Jill now as our finance officer will actually say if we're getting close to the line of going over.
Yeah.
So that, as she just said, that isn't really enough, but as we're running at the moment, it would break us even on the 3 months.
Yeah, and the plan is that from next month we'll have a monthly budget to show where we're running, so we can see how we're running.
Yeah,
To
that's
get
in
to the
accordance
end
with.
of the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
council
what
rules. That's what we're asking
I was going to
for.
ask Jill to explain to us what the position was.
It makes us more transparent, more explainable, and it
And we can see
satisfies
exactly
itself.
where we
Yeah.
are, yeah.
Just one more question, please.
Yeah,
So,
no.
so I know it's, I'm boring you now, but so we haven't drawn the whole loan down, and we've drawn
No.
a sum of it.
80k.
Yeah. So we have still got a sizable chunk of that loan in reserve for the second court case. Therefore, we have got provision.
Absolutely, Jason.
Correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
As and when and if necessary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And if we continue to run a tight ship between now and then, that extra
Spot on.
will grow.
Yeah. And fingers crossed.
If we win the court case, fingers crossed, we won't
Well,
need to
we'll be
draw it down.
discussing the court case in a minute.
Oh, there you go.
Away we go. Yeah.
But Jill will be watching.
Right,
Because our,
she will. Okay. Item 15, to discuss use of social media. Jill, do you want to just lead
Yep.
on that as an outsider who's come in?
Okay, so I've become aware that there's quite a lot of activity on Facebook and social media in the village on different platforms, and some councillors are discussing or putting comments on which could be perceived, and when the discussion involves decisions or things relating to the parish council. Some councillors are putting comments on somebody puts something and then a councillor comments, and it's not clear whether they're commenting as a member of the council or as an individual, and therefore I feel personally that it would be more professional for the council, for no councillors to comment on anything on social media that relates to the council, and it also stops you being opened up to any kind of, well, this person said this person said that, because at the end of the day the council acts as a body, one person. So altogether, so you need to be very aware that you're not opening yourselves up for any kind of negativity from anybody by making a comment that could come back and sort of bite you, is my thought.
Okay.
I don't do social media for precisely the reason I think social media in this village is vicious and unpleasant, and I stopped doing it a little while ago. My life has got so much better, I have to say. Do we have? We don't have a social media policy that council. We do.
We
So,
do write the policies.
Yeah, we
on that.
do, yeah.
so,
I'm sure Nigel did, he too sat over in the
so
corner there,
is
so.
it not worth reissuing that to councillors and reminding them of what their responsibilities and duties are?
That might need even bringing up to date, I don't know.
And maybe that needs bringing up to date, because I would agree. I mean, before I left, and occasionally people show me things on their phones, and I'm surprised at some of the comments I see from parish councillors about contentious issues in the village, which do nothing to enhance the reputation of the council or indeed of the individual concerned. So I agree with you, Jill.
Okay,
Okay, so we need to look for the policy and update it. Okay.
Because I'm sure there's something in there that says that exactly what you said, Jill, that if we respond, that's why we have the parish council website, that if we decide something as a whole and the parish council puts it out on their website by the clerk or whatever, that's a collective of what we as the parish council think. But if you put something on some other place or whatever, you should say that it is a personal opinion, not a council opinion.
Okay. Well, we'll have a look at what the policy says. I've personally not seen it. Andrew?
But I think, I agree with you, if people could say this is my personal opinion, not from the council. However, if that councillor's opinion is so at variance with the collective decision of the council, my view would be that the council needs to consider their position on the council. If they're going to disagree so publicly with the public stance of the council on an issue, that they're undermining it, then they need to consider whether they should be on the council or not.
Yep.
Collective responsibility exists.
Okay, thank you.
That's where your standards come in.
Item 16. Item 16, update regarding the parking issue at the town hall, including CCTV upgrade. As you know, our staff have had to argue, cajole, convince, or whatever they try to do for certain individuals who feel they're at the frontage of our places for public parking. And as a result of that, as I say, we have had issues where our staff have been told where to go when they've challenged. One of the things was the safety of staff in relation to those things going on, a duty of care to the staff, and it was felt that the CCTV positioned at the front, cameras at the front, would go some way to hopefully deterring people, but also to as a protection if we have to be going out there to ask anybody to move their vehicles. So that's where we are, and we've received a quote, which is the one that has everybody gone out?
Yeah.
Gone out to everybody?
That's the system that's in.
Yeah.
People,
That's the system that's in and what it would cost to
so there are
upgrade.
two of the cameras on the front, yeah.
Those two there at the bottom. So that's the price of two.
He's putting two cameras on the front that link into the system that we've already got.
I've got
you
you.
can see.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
The
Okay.
cameras don't really prevent people from parking though. Would bollards not be better?
You can't. We can't manage it because people are in and out, and somebody's going to have to put the bollards up. But
I've done that in London.
there's people coming in and
Pick
out
up
until
in my church car.
still now. So that was not manageable.
that was why we put one under the corridor at the side, because the kids were congregating. It's not picked up by anybody else's anywhere else, and the police actually asked at the time, so that at least it's recorded. You could actually, especially when we had them that got stuck in the lift when they were messing around.
We've got
So
signs and stuff. We've got
And we've
signs.
heard-
yeah, well they go with
The
this.
signage is up at the front.
Alright, well, I've seen.
I think we've fallen short. Did we write to one individual's bosses regarding the parking of the van? Did that ever go out? No, no bother.
Did we get a response from the boss? Just one question, Chair.
Just hang on, Jason was
Okay.
in before.
Sorry, I got two questions. One, we was writing to the particular firm involved, and two, we was writing to the police, and we was expecting a response from both of them. Have we written the letters?
Yeah, we've not responded to it. No, Karen actually said something about the parking. She sent another one out, email saying it's just going to get worse in Chapel. So yeah, they said there's nothing they can do, the police. It's just
Because it's private land.
private land.
Private land.
So we've got to look after
we were
ourselves.
stressing the
Yeah, I
safety
did
of
say
the
about the
employees.
safety. Yeah, and I am going to meet with Karen because I did send an email Well, we're going to meet with Karen because somebody else was found in Town Hall on Wednesday. Luckily, I was here with Debbie, and yeah, we had a thing with the kids, but Karen knew all about that because we had a bad time with the kids up hiding behind the stage and all that sort of jazz. And it's generally when there is only somebody here on their own as well, like Debbie and I, or... So yes, I do need to speak to Karen because it does, yeah, a very odd person was found in Town Hall.
So what, do you feel that we need any more support from the council?
No, because Karen's back here as well, so no, we're reporting it. There's not much more we can do. The thing with the camera on the front isn't necessarily to stop the cars, because that wouldn't, would it? But it's like I was involved in one of these. Debbie had, all of us have, to be fair, but you can't see it because it's on. You can't see it at the front of the building. So if anything got a bit, you know, you can't.
If you've got aggressive and physical,
yeah,
you
you
don't
can't.
know.
Like on the front doorstep, there's nothing picks it up.
No,
And that's recording, isn't it? Obviously recorded. And
With
Well,
sound.
would be. Would
It
be.
look like sound.
Yeah, the system has sound.
But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this is where this is helpful to the police, because they rely on having evidence,
Yeah,
and this will support the evidence and make the working conditions safer for.
And I know we're hard up for money and all the rest of it, yeah, but on the safeguarding for our staff and any vandalism of the front of the building or vandalism of even posts there where you pull up to the front door or people's cars, I think, and I will propose, that we should spend this money and have these 2 extra cameras fitted to our system.
Yeah.
second.
I'm not opposed, Chair, I'm not opposed to spending the money, but one quote?
It's just that's the they run the system that's in there.
We've got the system in. You with me? It's
It will
already
link into what we've already got, because they were the cheapest
it's a
quote
bit of a different
when we had the
one.
full system last time.
Okay. But don't we have rules about number of quotes?
I think for the amount involved.
Yeah, it needs to be a higher amount.
Is that okay? That's fine.
The other thing
Okay.
is that, coming back to my point, quite apart from the fact that there's a human element to this, if it came to the point where we were going to be negligent in providing a safe system working for our staff,
Yeah.
the costs would be exponentially larger than a few.
Let's get on with it.
We
could-
tried to get funding for it. though,
Yeah,
haven't
so
we?
I've emailed, Jill mentioned, so I've emailed the Crime Commissioner's office as well. So,
Okay.
so
Well, we're going to get on with it and we'll see whether we can receive funding or
Not to be
we're going to have
nice.
to find it. But I just want staff to be supported and
So do I.
Chris makes an important part.
especially coming into winter, it's dark, and my car has been hit, but Debbie's here running around at night.
Yes,
You
okay.
can't see at the front of the building.
Okay.
So.
Let's get on with that then.
Right, okay.
Okay, thanks for your updates on that, everyone. And then we're going on to item 17, which is court case matters. At this point, public to be excluded.
Sorry, that last matter, do you have a safeguarding policy for lone working staff?
There is a safeguarding
Yes.
policy.
For lone working staff? So
Yeah,
like
I
if Debbie's
know.
in on her own, that might be worth having something in place, so there is a procedure. So, you know, is there a system in place if Debbie was attacked on her own, you might leave yourself liable there.
I'm Chair, we'll look at it.
Yeah, thanks, Sally. Yeah, excellent, thank you.
There did used to be something with like those care alarm things that we used to carry around. There was something there, I don't know where we're up to now.
Okay, thank you. Thanks everyone. Janet's not gone. We'll get details and get them out to you one way or another. Applications. I've got Janet's. I've got Tony's.
I've got Janice, I've got Tony's, I've got his ears.
Nothing.
Tom,
Just Tom's.
Tom, we haven't got your home address as such.